Hey guys, welcome back to Mike's Anime Reviews. Today we are talking about GENSHIKEN Season 2. I had a lot of fun rewatching this show. It's been a few years since I've watched it. If you haven't checked out my previous two GENSHIKEN reviews on the first season and the OVA, check them out. This picks up a little bit after the OVAs. And it follows our group of characters. They're trying to basically get to know the new cast members that have joined our little club, which is Ogiwe and Kuchi, and like the mishaps they have at the beginning. The whole beginning is them really. It's about Kuchi and Ogiwe and stuff like that. And also, our previous cast members, or our cast members from the first season, are all graduating college. And it predominantly is situated around them trying to find jobs and how to balance their otaku lifestyle, which is very interesting. You see them going on like job hunts and stuff like that. And you see them getting not getting jobs at some points and stuff like that. So it starts off with predominantly Ono and Ogiwe and Saki. And they're talking about how should I put this? Just talking in general, and then it leads to talking about yaoi and how women approach it and stuff like that, and how the fans of yaoi approach it, which is really funny. The conversations they have are really funny. And then which leads into probably one of the funniest things is Madarame and Sasahara are at the club at one point in one episode, and they're goofing around, and he's like, "Hey, let me see your tie," and he's trying to grab the tie from him because Madarame just got back from a job interview at one point, and Ogiwe walks in, and she's like, "Oh, what's going on here?" She thinks Madarame and Sasahara are secretly a couple, which goes into her she creates this doujinshi comic about the guys from Genshiken being in romantic relationships and basically a soap opera type of situation. And she shows it to the girls, and they're like, "Oh, you should make your own comic and stuff, your own doujinshi." And she does. She sends off the doujinshi of the guys from Genshiken. It's a yaoi, a boy's love story between all of them, and she sends it off as her to try to get into the new comic festival or Comic-Con. And she does get into it, which is pretty cool. And she has to decide what she wants to do, because she really enjoys boys love manga, but she's not really about the fandom about it, but she enjoys it. And so that's one story that goes along as well. And then we get into Kuchi's story, where Kuchi is basically just trying to fit into the group because he's kind of out there. And so as the whole making a comic book is going on as well, they're trying to also get new members because several characters are graduating. And how do they do this? Ono puts on a sale of costumes for cosplay, and they're tells Kuchi to watch the table, and because Sasahara has to go use the restroom. And while this is going on, he sees this guy try to steal this maid Sailor Moon type of outfit, and he's like, "What?" And he confronts him about it, and he's like, "Dude, let me look in your bag." And he's like, "No, don't look at my bag," and stuff like that. And he's able to get the costume away, but Ono and them, like the girls, they're like, "Hey, what's going on? Why are you like defiling my costume?" And he like he puts it on, and he's like, "By the power of the moon, I must protect so and so," and he does like his little Sailor Moon pose. And later on, they find out that Kuchi was basically standing up for them and stuff, and he's like actually a really good dude, but he's just a little misunderstood. It's a little out there sometimes. And then we move on to when they introduce the American manga, no, the American like otaku fans. They're Ono's friends, and they're really hilarious. Like, they're different than like the regular Genshiken characters, and they have a lot of fun with them. Like, they're really funny, and like they're like, "Hey, what are you talking about? Like, I don't understand this." And like one of them just speaks in like anime quotes, which is really funny. And they take them to the comic hut where Okiway is selling with Sasahara. There's also a very interesting subplot of Sasahara getting a crush on Ogiway and Ogiway vice versa. They spend a lot of time together, and they start to develop a relationship, which is very interesting, and I really enjoyed it. It was a little sad seeing some of the other characters be put on the back burner, because they are shifting these older characters out, and they're getting lives themselves, like getting jobs and stuff, and they're introducing new characters into the group, which is very interesting going forward in the Genshiken anime and also the manga. There's another season of this called Genshiken The Next Generation, which still follows sort of the old cast. They show up from time to time, but they talk about the new cast as well. This is sort of like bridging or handing off the torch season, because we get conclusions to most of the characters' storylines, which I was sad to see, because I really enjoyed these characters. Because we spend a lot of time with these characters, and you get to like grow and care about them. Like, Saki opens up her own clothing store, and like I think it's, is it Tanaka? No, Tanaka goes to he goes to like a trade school for like making fashion and clothes and stuff. I don't think I don't think Ono graduates yet, but the other guys do, like Madarame and Kosaka he goes and works for a hentai video game developer. His girlfriend doesn't really care for that much, but that's where he goes and chooses to go work for, which is really hilarious when you get to that stuff. So yeah, and so Ogiway goes to sell her comic at Comic on the Yaoi Day, I believe it is, and she runs into some old friends, and like she really gets inspired to do more like manga, because she wants to be like a manga artist, and Sasahara is kind of like pushing her along, because he sort of helps her with the book, and like kind of like becomes, his whole story is he really likes publishing manga and being a manga editor. And so he helps her out with this, and they sell a couple copies and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Then we lead on to Sasahara. Sasahara is interesting because he's having a really hard time with this finding a job thing, and all he wants to do is be a manga editor. And eventually, he does. He becomes a manga editor to a point. And it's really interesting because when he's developing this relationship with Ogiway, he grows to enjoy the work that she does, And it the show leads off or ends off with basically all the characters going their separate ways. And we only have a little bit of Genshiken left, which is, it's sad. And I really enjoyed this season. I can't wait to get my hands on the third season, which is New Generation or Next Generation. I can't remember what it is called. I had a lot of fun with this. I can't recommend it enough. There's also a little OVA called, what is it called? Ramen Angel. It's a Ramen Angel Pretty Mommy. Mamanami. I can't say it. Which deals with like one of the anime characters that they watch this season. She's like a magical girl type of thing. But yeah, I highly recommend this show. It's really good, and it's a fitting end to the Genshiken cast as we know it so far. But they do show up in stride in the next season, if I remember correctly. The animation is just as good as before. The voice acting is just as good as before. They keep the original cast. And we get a cool new opening and ending. The ending stays a little bit the same, but we get a new song, I believe. But the new opening is a parody of the original Mobile Suit Gundam, which is hilarious. I really enjoyed that opening. But yeah, check this show out if you're interested. But go back and watch the first season and the OVAs. I cannot recommend this show enough. It was a lot of fun revisiting after 8 years of having not watched this show. I believe it's not legally streaming anywhere, which is sad to say, but you can find this on from your local, probably local resale store, or like on eBay. I know you can find it on Right Stuff, and I believe you can find it on Amazon as well. So go check this show out. It's a fun pseudo ending to the Genshiken story. I'm looking forward to watching more of this show. Peace out. Catch you later. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.